Well, I'm currently stood outside the Swindon ambulance station near the town centre, where, as you may be able to see behind me, ambulance workers have walked out today and formed a picket line. They're from both the GMB and Unison unions. Earlier today, the Health Secretary, Steve Barclay, said these workers had made a conscious choice to inflict harm on patients. But the unions have called this a lie. They've called it insulting. And they say the NHS needs more ambulance workers, better pay for those workers, and ultimately improved patient care. Now, let's not forget these workers are based at the South Western Ambulance Service, which is now declared a critical incident. Yesterday lunchtime, there were more than 100 ambulances, waiting outside hospitals across the southwest to hand over patients. The South Western Ambulance Service is now urging everyone across the region to only call 999 if their loved one, their family member, their patient is in a life-threatening condition. And a very warm welcome to Stratford Town Hall here in East London, where, as you can hear, Sweet Caroline has just come on as West Ham United fans, tens of thousands of them, are flocking out today for the victory parade as West Ham celebrate the victory in the final last night of the Europa Conference League. West Ham's first trophy for many a decade. They won in dramatic fashion as Jared Bowen scored a late winner as they beat Fiorentina 2-1 in Prague. Today, as I say, tens of thousands of fans enjoying their victory parade. The Iron fans, they're out in full force tonight. I'm sure there'll be a few bleary faces later on. Jared Bowen's last-minute winner last night. What was your celebration? How did you react?
I was so happy.
She went mental.
I was so happy.
Were you watching the game at home?
Yeah.
And were you running around the lounge celebrating?
Yeah.
And I can see your family are here today. What does it mean to your family for West Ham to win their first major trophy for 43 years?
Massive.
Everything.
Means everything.
Quick Final question, Arabella. How are you celebrating tonight?
Going down the pub.
Then we just see Jared Bowen snatch it off a player, and then as soon as I see him running down, I got up, I'm like, come on, and then I just see him hit at the back of the net, and I was just running about excited, and
Tell our listeners how you celebrated. When that ball hit the back of the net, what were you doing?
Oh, I was screaming. I'm surprised they ain't got a neighbour complaint yet.
Welcome to GCSE Results Day, a day that some of us will look back on more fondly than others. But for this year's cohort, it marks the end of a rather challenging 2.5 years in education. I think it would be fair to say the COVID pandemic has caused major disruption for pupils across Swindon. But as students opened their results here at Kingsdown School this morning, I saw plenty of smiling faces.
Okay. Oh, I see some high numbers. Oh, yes. Okay. So, I did great. Oh, wow. Oh, that's so good. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm very happy with that. So, I got
Jacob, share with our listeners and viewers how you did. Congratulations.
Okay, so I think I did very good. I got God, I have to try to read this one. I got a 7 in English, which I'm happy about because I love English, love poetry. So, got 4 in maths, which I'm also happy about because, God, I tried so hard for that one.
Every day it's a new torture, it's a new torment. You wake up in the morning and then it's the realisation that I've lost my son. Well, we've lost our son, a brother. He was such a big part of this family, and there's such a massive hole that he has left behind because he was so full of life. He was helping everyone. He was annoying everyone. He was everywhere. And for now, we just deal with it hour by hour, day by day, sometimes minute by minute, just to be there for each other and to be there for others that's affected by Harry's loss.
Your son had his life tragically cut short at the age of 14, nearly 15. When you look back on his life, it seemed like he was a boy that was loved across the community. How will you remember Harry?
There isn't a second that goes by in the day that I don't think about Harry. I mean, I still look at the road now waiting for him to come home. Meal times, I still dish him up a dinner. There's not a second that don't go by where I'm thinking and just hoping that he is going to come home, and all of this is just a complete nightmare.
Well, today's verdict came after almost 3 weeks of deliberations from the jury. Emotions were understandably running high in the courtroom today, with some of Romani's family even walking out in tears. Now, the 16-year-old died in Gloucester city centre after being stabbed several times in the back. He also had an injured skull that came from a sharp object. Now, today, 18-year-old Levi Cameron and two 16-year-olds who we cannot name for legal reasons, they were all convicted for Romani's manslaughter. That's alongside the 18-year-old Callum Charles Cabela, who'd already admitted to manslaughter before today. However, 8 defendants accused of Romani's murder, they were all cleared today. The 4 teenagers who've been convicted for Romani's manslaughter, they've been remanded in custody and they'll be sentenced next month.